To be disciplined, you have to have a plan or a schedule to follow. You cannot be disciplined to go 6 days a week or commit to something for 6 days a week if you don't have a plan, okay? So find someone with a plan that you know will work and stick to it. Okay, next, analyze the thoughts that ruminate in your mind. If your thoughts you don't want to accumulate in your mind, work to erase them, okay? And do that on a conscious level. And then hopefully you can override them and do it on a subconscious level, okay? And then you can install whatever programming, whatever software, whatever thoughts that you want in your life, you can install those in your mind. You get to choose what happens to you. It's your body, it's your mind. So take control of that because that is your life. Next, you can address something by fighting, fleeing, or pursuing it joyously. Okay, the joyous option is often the best option. Okay, so there is going to be a situation where you're going to be able to go do something, where you're going to have an opportunity, and you can choose if you want to fight it, if you want to go away from it, or if you want to just pursue towards it. And pursuing it is such a freeing feeling because it allows you to be creative. It also allows you to be extremely objective, and then you can accomplish the goal that you've been dying to accomplish your entire life. Next. Don't be genuinely mean to other people. Aggression towards others is not strength because it undermines your relationship with them. Okay? So don't attack people. Don't come out with so much aggression because what's going to happen is it's going to give you that control in that moment, and it's going to give you so much emphasis in your moment that you're craving or that you're looking for. But what you actually want is to build and have a strong and sturdy relationship with that person. So never take that direct approach of aggression. Okay, if you need something to happen or you need to influence something, find a way to do it with your emotions in check. Okay, don't ever attack someone to get what you want. Never use that as an influencer, as a controller, because you want to be the kind of person that can be positive and still have a good influence on other people. You want to be someone who can represent for your community, your society, your family in a way that's positive, but also still leading. Next, don't be genuinely, notice quickly when you get out of the habit of doing something useful and then catch yourself to determine if you want to let go of that habit, okay? So sometimes we get in a good habit of doing something and then we lose it, okay? We've seen people who have had such a good thing going on and then they couldn't maintain it, okay? So determine if you want to let that habit go, which you most likely don't, or sometimes you do. Sometimes you have a negative habit and you want to let it go. Okay, if you see yourself getting out of that habit, don't lean into the bad habit. Okay, always lean into the good habits. Okay, so allow yourself to kind of flow through some of these things and catch yourself when you're losing a good habit, and then catch yourself when you can get rid of a bad habit. Okay, next. Patterns and feelings get ingrained into your body and come up uncontrollably. Okay, so you have to fix your brain and your body. Your body only changes through exposure to physical stimuli. Okay, your brain is what you have to work on. Your mentality, the way that you think mentally, is all up to you. Okay, choose what goes through your brain and decide for yourself what you want to influence you, what thoughts you want to go through your head so that you can become more positive, more successful, and you can achieve your goals much better. Next, to improve the relationship between you and others, ask yourself, how can I definitely help one of my teammates? Then execute on it directly or indirectly, okay? When you need to improve relationships or when you just need to go do something positive for your team, whatever it is, think, how can I just improve someone's life? How can I make something easier? How can I get something done for them? Okay, when you start doing something that's just positive in nature, whether you're bored or whatever, it's just going to have a positive influence on your team, your community, whatever it is, and it's going to drive you to be a better person. And it's going to hold everyone up, okay? Raise the standard, raise the bar, be the kind of person that sets the high bar for your team. Next, evolve yourself as a person through outing yourself and use that pressure to grow, okay? Don't be scared of being vulnerable, okay? There's no issue with being vulnerable. When you expose your emotions, you get them out there. You share them in a way that inspires other people to also share their emotions, which is what you want to do. You want to inspire people. Okay? So don't be afraid of your emotions because everyone has them. It's just the people who are willing to be vulnerable and who are willing to show them are going to be the role models who can show that they can deal with their emotions. Next, solve every problem starting from your character traits. Okay? What part of you is able to solve the problem? Okay? So you want to find a problem, or you want to be in a situation where you have a problem that has arisen, and then you want to think, how can I solve this problem? And you want to start with you. You want to start with the character that you have or the character that you have built. How can I get through and persevere through this problem? What part of me is able to deal with this? Because you are going to have to solve the problem. Nothing in your environment can. So start with you when you come into a problem, and that will give you a direction on what kind of beliefs that you have to instill, or what part of you have to instill into this problem in order to solve it. Next, the secret to happiness is the second you think about something, you act on it. Okay? Remove all the friction between choosing and doing. And this is how I currently understand it. Okay? So if you're a little kid, you go out and you experience things and you act compulsively and you think about something and then you immediately do it. Okay? So if you want to experience that happiness, you might have to feel it in that way. And you might have to be compulsive when you do something in order to feel it. So if you go on a vacation or something, be compulsive. Think about something and then do something, but keep yourself within obviously the limits and the guidelines of, I want to be improving my character and I still want to be successful. Okay? Next, understand the primary problem. Understand all the components of the problem, then focus on the solution. Okay, so you really have to understand a problem. And once you understand it and you fully get it, the main idea and the topics and everything, then you can focus on the solution. And that's going to give you so much clarity. And when you have clarity, solving a problem becomes so much easier because it removes all the emotions, it removes all the uncertainty, and then you can just attack and go towards the solution as quickly as possible. Next, adjust your thinking pattern to get different results. If you're on vacation, the way to have fun is to only focus on the positive stuff. So when you focus on positive things, your environment becomes positive, your mentality becomes positive, and the people around you also becomes positive. Okay? So when you're going to do something, do you want to have a positive or a negative outlook on it? And sometimes having that negative outlook can make you experience things, in a more problem-solving way. But you more often than not, want to look at things positively because it's going to give you clarity, it's going to give you optimism, and you're going to be able to attack problems and solve them extremely clearly. Next, going through bad things makes me feel more aware. Okay? And the only way that I feel comfortable is through awareness. So whenever some sort of problem arises, right, and I have to go through the bad thing, going through that bad thing makes me feel aware. It makes me feel like, I'm more safe or I'm more comfortable because I know how to deal with it, because I know what that feeling is that I'm incapable or I'm uncertain of what to do. So I don't look at bad things as bad. I look at them as opportunities to experience something that is negative emotionally and that allows me to be more aware of my reality. Okay? And that's what I'm optimizing for. That's what I want, is I want that maximum awareness, and that awareness allows me to be safe, not just, in my house or in my home, not just that physical safety, but that safety of reality. Okay? Next. Feel how you want the environment to see you. Utilize your emotions to perfect how you act. Okay? Use conscious emotions to put out what you want. How you feel is how the environment around you will perceive you. Okay? So just consciously think, how do I want the environment to see me? And then your body will naturally know what to do. Okay? And this is how you fuse the conscious and the subconscious together. When you think a thought, you want your body to be able to do it. Okay, that is the ultimate form of being able to be in control. Okay, so you want to be as in control as humanly possible. You want to be able to control yourself. You want to be able to control your thoughts, and you want to be able to control your body. And when you can do that, you're going to be able to move through your environment. You're going to be able to solve problems, and you're going to be able to get everything that you want out of life. And you're going to feel so good about it when you do it. Next, once you solve a problem on your checklist, it is in the past. Okay, focus on the next thing on your checklist. So when you have things to do, and we all have this, we all have a checklist of the things that we have to do throughout the day, and whether that's mental or on a piece of paper, we have to do something and then we have to forget about it. Okay, so don't let a task ruminate with you. You want to be able to do that task, and then you want to be able to say, okay, I have done it and now it is done. Okay, and if you have that ruminating thought of, that thing in the past, it's probably because you didn't do the repetition 100%. It's probably because you didn't do exactly what you were looking to do. And so you might need to go back and you might need to tackle it. And then once you tackle it, then you can move on. Then you can leave it in the past, okay? So go through your checklist and check things off and make sure you do them 100%. Next, centralize how you feel about yourself. Centralize your self-identity. You want to be a person who is confident. You want to be a person who is strong, who has strength, who has power, who is able to influence and control your own life. Centralize that in your body. I don't care where it is. It doesn't even matter, okay? You want to feel that strength. You want to feel that power, and that's going to ignite a flame inside you, and you're going to be able to go out and you're going to be able to attack things. You're going to be able to get through things, and you're going to be extremely successful in your life when you can centralize how you feel about yourself, when you can build that self-identity, and that's going to build the foundation and the structure for your life, and then you're just going to ramp up into a super successful person. Okay? Next, if you love something and it loves you back, then you get it. Okay? It's real. So when you love something so much, when you get that feeling and it does it right back to you, it's real. Okay? Allow yourself to feel love. So many of us, and I've seen this with my friends, I've done this myself, we feel that love. We feel that moment where it's just so good. But if we recognize that that person or that thing is not loving us back, that's not real love. But when they do, in that moment where you feel that love and it comes back to you, allow it. Allow it to feel like it's real, okay? Because you're going to experience an emotion. You're going to have an experience in your life that's going to be so powerful and so strong and so real that your life is going to change forever. Only strength. Okay, so when you get in that moment where you start to feel that weakness creep in, where you start to feel that you are not okay and that you will not get through this, that is where strength is built, because you cannot have strength without weakness. And so you need to start building. You need to start building your foundation because you need to be strong. Okay, so you have to start telling yourself that I am the best, that I will do whatever it takes, that I will get through this pain. I don't care what it takes. I will get through this and it will make me stronger because of it. Okay, do not allow weakness to creep into your mind. Weakness is dumb. Okay, don't be dumb. Don't allow yourself to be dumb. Okay, only build on strength. I am the best. I will do whatever it takes, that I will get through this no matter what, that this will never hold me back. Okay, so only lean into strength. Be strong. Next. The more information you have, the more things you can factor into your decision making. A lot of quality information is important to make good decisions, and I will always want you to make the best decisions that you can. Okay? Next, be delusional and connect with whatever resonates with you. Okay? It is your mind, it is your head. Allow your mind to be free and believe whatever pulls you. Believe whatever positively pulls you in, because it is your life and you want to do what is beneficial for your life, even if it's not reality. Even if it feels illusionary or delusional, do not allow people to tell you that that is a delusion, okay? Stop allowing people to say, things that are delusional or that's not okay or this or that. Don't allow that. Do what is best for you rigidly, because you are going to build your own person, and that's what you want to do, because most people are weak and you do not want weak. You want strong. You want to build strength. You want to be powerful. You want to be strong in a way that is going to dominate other people, and especially dominate other weak people. Next, going from being a kid to being an adult is just a set of behaviors and actions. mainly being responsible, okay? You don't need to shed your kid's self to get the adult, okay? And parents don't explain that. What you have to do is you have to take your kid's self. You have to take your childhood, your desires, and all of that, and you have to build on it. You have to build yourself up into a person who is strong and powerful. Okay, you need to build yourself so that you can get where you want to go. Use your childhood as a foundation. Okay, you don't ever just split off and say, I was a child and now I'm an adult. All you need to do is take your childhood self and put responsibility on it, and that will allow you to become an adult because you have purpose and you will be able to take care of yourself. That's what you need to do. Okay, and parents don't ever explain that. So what you need to do is you need to use your childhood as a foundation and become who you need to be. Okay, find that clarity there. Next, have moral standards for yourself. These are things that you would consider unreasonable if you were in that person's perspective. Choose them based on being a good person. Would a good person do this? Okay, so you want to say, I am outside of my body. I am outside of who I am right now. Would a good person do this? Is this the perspective of life that I want to live? Is someone going to look at me and say that this is a bad thing to do, or that they shouldn't even be around that kind of person because that is bad? Or do you want to be a good person, a person who can stand up for themselves, a person who is able to, insert the things into their life that they need regardless of what other people say or any fear or any of that? Don't allow that in, okay? Choose strength every time. Next, you have to stay proficient in a skill you develop. Otherwise, it can go away, okay? Treat each skill, each subject like a sport that you have to perform in, okay? So each moment when you find that skill and you start to recognize that you are getting good at something, you have to remember your old habits. You have to remember what made you so good, what made you and built you into the character that is good at this thing now. You have to remember all of that stuff, because if you don't, it's going to erode naturally. Okay, and you start to get complacent, and you need to not allow that complacency to get in there. You need to say, I am going to keep the habits that I have developed the skill, and that I am going to be the best at this anyways. Okay, and make sure that if you do something and you're good enough in an area, that you maintain it, that you maintain those habits. Okay, and sometimes that can be difficult to go from high performing and being the best at it down to maintaining it so that you can focus your attention elsewhere. Okay, but that's what it takes to be good at everything. It takes that kind of talent, that kind of skill to be good in every area. You have to maintain everything in all these areas, and then you have to also pursue what you need to go after next. Okay, so make sure that you can hold on to things. Okay, make sure that you can pick out the right components so that you can be good everywhere. Next, burn your old self, build your new self. Okay, so sometimes we get in the pattern, we get in the habit of who we were or who we are, and this is us now and whatever. Don't allow your old self to stick to you. It's like goo. Okay, you never want goo on you. Okay, you always want to go take a shower and clean that off. You want to build into your new self. You want to build into someone who is stronger, someone who is better. Okay, and that new self, that might be hard. That might be painful. Whatever it takes to build that new self and burn that old self is what you need to do so that you can shed your skin. You want to be like a snake. You don't want to be slippery and slimy and sly and all that stuff. But what you want to do is be able to shed your old self so that you can build into your new self, and you can build a new life. You can build a new identity, and you can build what you need to become more successful. Next, structure your thoughts. Be more consistent with a topic you need to think about. Okay, create guidelines for your thinking. So you need to be able to think through things in an efficient way. You have to be able to have some sort of structure. So structure your thoughts so that you can build on them, so that you can find a way to go from here to here, and you can start connecting dots more seamlessly, and they can connect into a bigger picture. Okay, sometimes you have to structure these thoughts, or otherwise they get all over the place. They get random. Okay, so you want to have levels to it, or you want to have some sort of formula so that you can go from where you are now and you can organize the information in a way that's going to get you the goal that you're trying to get to. Next, have the best intentions for the person and the interaction every time you go in. You always want to do what's best for someone. You never want to do what's not best for someone. Even if that person's hurt you, even if that person has done something that has been negative to you, never allow that to influence your character. Never allow what someone has done to you or done in your life to influence who you are. Always walk in with the best intentions. Always show up and be the best person that you can be in that moment, okay? Because you are all you have in the moment where you have to look at someone who is not good to you, who has been a bad person to you. You have to hold and maintain the line on your good character. You have to stay that way, or otherwise you lean into their habits, into their emotions, and then that influences you so that you become more negative and more of a worse person, and you lean into bad habits. You don't want that. You want to hold your character. You want to hold the good line, and you want to stay on the side of good and not lean into bad habits, bad intentions, whatever it might be. Don't allow it. Ignore it and move on so that you can continue to be a good person and resonate well in your society so that you're not doing stuff that is just bad for society. You want to be doing good for society. You want to be the kind of person who has that feeling or that moment where you are helping other people. Next, always tell the truth, okay? You never want to lie. You never want to be the kind of person who lies or goes out and says stuff that's, not true or false or whatever it is. You don't want to do that. You always want to tell the truth because you always want to have your best interest in people, and they want to be able to feel that. Because what that's going to do is it's going to build your community. You're going to feel like you are a truthful person. People are going to feel like you're a truthful person, and you're going to be able to build trust and influence and be a leader and be someone who can resonate with other people, and then you can become successful with them, okay? Optimize for your community if you want to be a successful person. Okay, that's what's going to drive you to have goals that you've never even thought that you could achieve because you are going to have a community of people who are boosting you up to your highest limit. Next, make progress strategically every day, okay? So every single day we have things we have to do. We have goals that we have to get through, okay? These are the little tactical things that we have to do. But if we never focus on the big strategic picture, we are never going to get where we want to go, okay? So we have to do certain things every single day regardless. I've got to show up to my job at this time, or I've got to go do this at this time, or I've got to go eat at this time, whatever it might be. Those are all things we have to do. But if we never start angling ourselves and we never start pointing and directing ourselves towards the bigger picture, we're never going to get there. So make sure that every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if we're just thinking about it, that we are angling ourselves strategically so that we can get what we want out of life, so that we can eventually get to the goal, and so that we can eventually become successful and reach our desires and get to a point where we are satisfied with our lives, where we have accomplished all of the goals that we have set out to accomplish, and we can be who we needed to be. We can fulfill our potential, okay? That's where we need to go. So make sure you're focusing strategically every day on something that will benefit your life long term. Next, your adrenal glands will last 100 years longer than you do. So use them to take on risk and push yourself, okay? We get in situations where our adrenaline spikes just a little bit, and then our mind starts to go into, I need to be in safety, I need to be in relax mode, I need to be out of this current environment and into a new one, when that's not the case. We, most of the time, have to recognize that we are having some sort of adrenaline release, and we have to use that as fuel. We have to use that as drive, and that's what's going to push us to be better. Okay, that's what's going to allow us to take on more risk in the future, and that's what's going to get us into a position where we have a stronger character because we can take on things that seem too big or seem too, explosive for most people that light their life on fire. But we are going to be the kind of people who are strong enough to deal with those situations. Next, to think about something logically, you must be able to use accurate labels to describe that thing, okay? Connect a million of the wrong dots and you're still wrong, okay? So even some of the smartest people don't know how to connect the right dots. They don't know what dots to connect because they can't label the problem clearly, or they can't label the things in the solution clearly. okay? So you can have the smartest person and they can fire everything in their brain extremely quick. But the problem arises when they're connecting the wrong dots. And that's what oftentimes makes the person who has the most talent, who could be so smart, that's often what impedes them because they're inaccurate. Okay, so make sure that you're focused on the right thing, that you find the problem that you need to attack, and then you can go haywire in trying to figure out everything about it. Okay, next. Good posture is important for your breathing, your speaking, your attractiveness. Okay, so make sure you have good posture. And that's back posture, neck posture. You want to make sure that you have good posture because that's how it shows up to other people. They don't often measure you for how you look or this or that. It's oftentimes your posture and how you carry yourself. So you want to carry yourself in a way that's elegant. You want to carry yourself in a way that's stern or whatever, okay? Optimize for how you want your posture to look if you want people to see you in a good light, okay? You want to be seen in a way that's sturdy. You want to be seen in a way that's charismatic. You want to be seen in a way that's going to have a good impression on other people, okay? Next, work like the people you want to resemble, okay? And work like someone who has the strongest work ethic you can imagine, okay? You want to find these people who do exceptional things. You want to see these people who are out there, who are crazy innovators, who go do awesome stuff, and they live this, amazing life of built this and built that, and you want to resemble how they work. You want to resemble what they do. Okay, find those people because even a little bit of what they do or how they work, if that slips off onto you, it's going to make you better. It's going to make you a better person who can work on stuff, who can figure things out. Okay, so find those people and stick to them a little bit. Next, opportunity to benefit your life course in your future is a moment that you have to take seriously and you have to take it well. Okay, that opportunity to build your good character, to build your good life, take those moments seriously because someone can truly impact you, okay? Don't allow someone and measure their intentions. Measure if they're slippery or sly or something feels off, okay? But if the moment feels right, if the societal impact feels right and that person seems to have true intentions for you, take those opportunities extremely seriously because that's how you build community. That's how you build society and connect with those people. Find that bond. And when you find that bond and you connect with that community of people, that is how you become successful. Okay? People always talk about networking. When you need to network with someone, when you need to be in a position where you know people, where you know someone, okay? That is what builds you as a person and makes you more successful. Okay, so don't shy away from those people. Measure their intentions, measure if they're the right person for it, and then connect with them, bond with them, and it will ultimately make you more successful. Next, reflect on the roots of where you came from to understand yourself better. Okay, you should always be in the mode of where am I? Who am I? What have I done? Okay, because it's so hard to figure yourself out and grapple with yourself to see, who am I? Okay, and so when you get in a situation where you have time or where you have the opportunity or where something arises that kind of struck you in a certain way about yourself, you have to recognize that moment. You have to feel that moment and you have to see, is this something about me? Is this something that happened to myself? And how can I become someone different or better? Or how can I understand myself so that I can solve this problem or so that I can lean into whatever this is and it can reinforce who I want to be in the future? And when you do that, you're going to improve your character and you're going to become better overall. Next, remember what does good for you. Okay? Remember habits, thoughts, routines, whatever it is. Find the things that do good for you and lean into them. Okay? And sometimes it's a physical object or a product, whatever it is. Find that thing that does good for you and you are going to learn from it. You're going to live a life that you enjoy more for it. And the thing that genuinely does good for you is what you should lean into. Okay? And lean into things that are similar to that as well. Okay? Because if you struck gold once, you want to strike gold in the same place again and again and again. Next, lean into stress. Lean into stress further and further and you will find positive results. Okay, oftentimes if we're going through something hard, we're feeling something hard, that stress that accumulates in our body from trying to get through the thing is actually what we need to lean into. Because if we lean into that stress, it's going to make us do things that we weren't originally doing, or it's going to force us to be a new person. And that's what we need to do when we come to a problem that we don't know how to tackle, or something we don't know how to think about, whatever it might be. We have to get through it, and we have to find those positive results. And you can only find that through the stress required to go through it in order to become or to come out on the other side as someone who has gone through that, persevered through that, and gotten the right result. Next, set up your subconscious mindset to prioritize. It can only focus on one thing at a time, okay? And then consciously think about it. Then intensely think about it. Then feel some pressure from it, okay? Now your subconscious is preloaded with that topic, okay? So allow your subconscious to think about one thing, and it only can think about one thing at one time. And then start using your mind to kind of dig into it. And what this is going to do is it's going to prime you to get ready to do something. And so when you need to attack something, think about your mind, think about your body, and then you can go attack it. And it's going to make you more effective, okay? And then once your subconscious is truly preloaded on that, you can move your attention elsewhere to solving the problem, fixing the problem, or whatever it is. But you want to line up your attention with your subconscious and with your conscious, and that's going to allow you to be more effective. Next, the only way to develop personality is to experience hard things and develop an emotional charge from it, okay? So you don't experience, you don't gain experience in your personality by going out and doing the same things every day, okay? No one develops personality by doing that. You only develop personality when you go through something uncomfortable, when you go through something hard, which is why you need to have different experiences, or experiences that push your limits, okay? And when you do that, you're going to develop that personality, that emotional charge, and that's going to be able to drive you to do other things in the future, okay? So find those things that provide friction. And once you lean into them, you're going to develop a character that's better, that's going to be stronger, and going to be more capable of doing other things in the future. Next, stronger the emotional charge or the mindset, the better the creativity or perfection. Okay, so find that emotional charge, find that right mindset. And once you have those two things combined, you will lead a life of perfection. Okay, so find those things find that state of being where you are super emotionally charged and you have a super strong mindset, and then your physical body is capable enough to do it, and you're going to find that perfect mode. And that's going to allow you to build things in all sorts of areas. And once you start building, once you start finding how you can build over here and you can build this detail over here, it's going to lead you into a triangle of perfection. Find the triangle of perfection. Find it mentally, find it emotionally, and it's going to lead you to a successful perfection life. Next, play the performance game and make your actions look flawless and smooth. Okay, so you want to be performing. Okay, everything in your life is a performance. If you're talking to someone for the first time, that first impression is a performance. Okay? And even if it's not recognized that way, even if you want to be able to relax around that person, I understand that. But you have to be able to perform when the time comes to performing, okay? You have to be able to perform, whether it's in your job or whether it's in, the gym, whatever it is, you have to be able to perform, okay? And you want it to look flawless. You want it to look smooth, because that's going to reinforce. You don't want to reinforce that because you want other people to think that you're flawless and smooth. You want to reinforce that because you know you're flawless and smooth, because you know you're capable of doing that. And that's going to remove all your doubt. That's going to remove all your insecurities, and that's going to replace it with confidence. That's going to replace it with capability. And you are going to feel that inside of yourself when you walk in there and do it. You are going to feel empowered by it, and that's going to allow you to be more successful. Find an upward spiral. Find that thing that just starts compounding in your life, and it's just positive thing after positive, okay? You want to find the momentum, build the momentum to where you just stack good things on top of good things, and then it just gets better and better and better. And once you do that, once you find that upward spiral, it's going to take you all the way up to the top so you can be successful, okay? There's a downward spiral and there's an upward spiral. Only focus on moving upwards. Only get into that upward spiral, and that's what's going to build your life. Next, Aim for the most optimal and effective way to do something, anything and everything, okay? Highest ROI over the least amount of time is going to give you peak results. You want to think, how can I do this thing and how can I get it done as quickly as possible? And once you have those two, you come together and it builds the result. And that result is going to be the peak result that you possibly can, okay? So find the thing with high leverage, high ROI, what makes your time worth it. Okay? And once you find that, start investing as much as you can into it before that opportunity disappears, and you're going to get super successful results from that. Next, think congruent thoughts on a topic. Okay? Center your attention until you have it figured out completely. So sometimes we go through life and we have thoughts and they're all over the place. We have a big pile of thoughts. And what we have to do is we have to lean into one of our thoughts. Okay, we have to lean into one of those things that's been itching at us or pricking at us, okay? And so once we find that thing, we're able to travel down that line, we're able to figure out the emotion of it. We're able to figure out what it does and what it does to us. And once we do that, then we can start to pull it apart. We can start to rip it apart and we can go and we can find the answer that we've been looking for. So sometimes you have to slow down and you have to label all of the things that are within that one problem, and that will give you the answer and you will be able to find the solution from that. Next, know where you are now in relation to the largest goal that you can think of, the largest goal you want to achieve. So if you can accurately identify where you are right now based on facts and logic, you can start to build the pathway to where you want to go. Okay, you will know where your starting line is. You can figure out all of the steps in between to get where your largest goal is. And once you can map that out, then you can start to take action. Then you can say, I am here. I need to do this, and it will get me towards my biggest goal. And once you get towards that biggest goal, you're going to start feeling that success creep in. Okay, so once you start moving towards it, you will get better and better at it, and you will start to feel that success, and that success will feel good. Next, when something you care about a lot comes along, try your hardest to work towards it, okay? We're gonna have these opportunities in our life where something big is gonna come along. We're gonna have them, and we're going to have the opportunity and that one-time chance to really take action on it and really explore what it's going to do for us. And what we're gonna be able to do from that is we're gonna be able to figure out where it goes, figure out what to do with it next, figure out how it builds us. And once we figure out how it builds us, then we can figure out how to build it back, and we can then go and become the most successful versions of ourselves. Next, if you ever feel yourself getting off the path, write down some notes and reread them for objectivity. So what can happen is that we can get so in our heads or so emotional, and that we can get in these thoughts, these patterns of weakness. And what happens is that we start to feel ourselves drift off the path. But instead of taking an action to stop that, what we do is we just sit there, okay? Or we keep doing what we are doing to get us off the path. So instead, what we should do is we need to build out our notes. We need to build out an objective frame of what we are doing. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow us to figure out, okay, where am I? What am I doing wrong? And then how can I get back on the path I need to get on? And that path is going to lead you towards the success that you're looking for, so that you can get back on the path and then you can start attacking something else. And when you're in that moment where you start feeling yourself getting off the path, it's because something else in your life is going wrong. And so when you figure that out, you are going to use that as drive and motivation. So if you ever feel yourself getting off the path, just know that if you take one step right back on the path, it's going to ignite that fire in you that's going to keep you going, and you're going to get stronger and stronger in that moment, okay? So if you ever feel yourself getting off the path, get back on as fast as you can, and you're going to run like fire. Next, be the leader. It allows you to make decisions first, okay? So if you are leading the pack or you're leading your community, you are going to be in control of some decisions, and you can help people more, okay? And so even if you are leading from the bottom up or leading from the top down, it doesn't matter. You are a leader in every position of your life, okay? So treat it like that. Treat it like everyone is looking at you and that you are able to influence everyone positively. And when you do that, when you're able to feel that, it's almost a pressure, it's almost a drive that continues to keep you going. And then you are going to be able to build your community and build your society and build everybody up. Next, type 1 comfort is normal comfortable. Type 2 comfort is getting comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Okay? So when you go out and you get into that ice bath, that is uncomfortable. Okay? It's extremely uncomfortable as soon as you get in because you just went from a nice warm environment or room temperature environment and you got into the ice bath and now you're cold. Now you're freezing cold. You're super uncomfortable. But when you sit in there and when you take a minute or 2 minutes, then you start to relax. Your body starts to relax in an environment that is uncomfortable. That is your type 2 comfortable. Okay? So find situations in your life where you're going to be uncomfortable and you have to get comfortable in them. Okay? Find that type 2 comfort. Right? Find it. And then don't ever get stuck in a situation where you have to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation and it starts to ruin your life. Okay? Don't live in an uncomfortable environment. Change or get out or find a way out of that environment. Find your way into a positive environment that's going to build your foundation. It's going to build your life. Next, when you feel lots of emotions purposely shape your brain, make it work exactly as you desire. So sometimes we're going to have those situations where we have all these emotions that are cramming towards us, where we feel all those things going on. And in that moment, you can make a decision and you can say, I want all of these emotions that are good or bad. I want them to shape me in the way that they need to shape me. Okay? And you allow yourself to feel all of those emotions, and whether it's pain, whether it's pleasure, whatever it might be, you want it to shape exactly who you are. Okay, so when you feel that pain, when you feel that pleasure, when you feel both of them, you say, what do I want to make my character into in this moment? And that will give you clear direction and a clear path so that you never go astray. Okay? Next. Talk positively about the things you want to become better at. Okay, positive talk and positive thoughts about it. You want to build that self-esteem. You want to build that almost like a comfortable, or not a comfortable, but a reassuring ego behind the thing that you're building. Okay, because you want to have confidence. You need to be confident in order to go out and do something big. So build those thoughts, build that positivity in yourself, and you will start to override all the stupid and negative thoughts that you don't need, and you will replace them with positive thoughts that you do need. And what it's going to do is it's going to build your character up. Next, people who coach you are a speed boost. Whether it's directly, indirectly, it doesn't matter. When you recognize that someone has your best interest at heart, when they are building you up, when they are building your character, you should run that line as far and as fast as you can, because that is going to be a speed boost, and that speed boost is going to make you better and better, and you want to go down that path. Next, communication at distance can be difficult, and the best way to minimize miscommunications is by being direct. Okay, so sometimes you have to talk to someone over text or over the phone or whatever it is. And what you need to do is realize that being direct in this moment is actually the best move that I can make, because it's going to make things clearer, and it's going to make my intentions clear so the person can accurately analyze me. And then at that point, I will have good communication skills. Next, to decide between two goals, you don't decide which goal you want to achieve in the long term. Okay, you just decide to work really hard on it. Okay, so when you have that path that's binary between this goal and that goal, you don't decide on which goal you want. Instead, you just decide to work really hard at one of those goals, and you will get it. Okay, you will get towards it. Okay, and if it's the same-ish path, but it's two of the same things, then what you want to do is you want to just start going. You just want to start working hard, and then you can optimize for the end result later. You can figure out which path actually is better, and then you can make an informed decision so that you can get the long-term result you're looking for. Next, decide to work hard. Okay? Make that decision. if you have to have a committal talk to yourself right now and decide that I want to build the habits and I want to build the positive work ethic I need to be someone who works hard, have that decision right now. Okay, when you make that commitment, you are going to show up as someone who works hard, and that's going to be better for you, your family, your society. That's what you want, is to be someone who works hard. Next, become the universe's favorite person. Okay, work your whole life to be as good as reality as you possibly can. The only things that are real around you are your reality. Okay, the world is based on the universe. Okay, so become the universe's favorite person and do whatever it takes to do that. Okay, that is the ultimate drive. That is the ultimate motivation, is to realize that all you have is reality, and that the best thing that you can do is work harder and get better so that you can live a better reality for yourself, and that's going to benefit everyone around you and make you a super successful person, which is what you want. Next, you were chosen by the hand of the universe. You are the chosen one. You understand that there are so many probabilities and so many likelihoods in your life that have to come together in order for you to be here, in order for you to be with me, okay? And so what you have to do is you have to feel that tension, that there is something that could snap so quickly and you could lose all the odds. You've already won the lottery. You've already won everything that you've ever wanted in your life. You just have to go and you have to recognize that everything you have is actually exactly what you want, and that you just need to get in a better position so that you can take other things that you want, okay? And once you realize that you need to go for the universe, that you need to be able to do all this stuff for reality, then you can start to build the character that you want and become extremely successful. Next, present your content. Don't present to teach it. Don't present to teach yourself. Present it to reinforce yourself in your own patterns, okay? So what you want to do is you want to go out and you want to present yourself in a certain way. You want to present who you are. You want to have your own patterns that you show to society, and you want those to reinforce your character. You want those to reinforce yourself. And what that does is it shows who you are, what you do, and you build this reinforcement over society, and they look up to you, and you become a role model of who you are, your community around you, and that's going to inspire others, okay? Be the leader. Next, I care about your experience going through this, okay? So let me know what you think here with this number that I'm going to put up on the screen here, okay? Okay, next, start doing the rep and think, well, I've already started it, so I might as well just keep going. When you start doing something, don't ever stop. As soon as you start doing something, as soon as you get 10%, 20%, 30% through it, keep going. It doesn't even matter if you get 2% through it. You have to keep going, because if you don't keep going when you do the rep, you turn into a quitter. And you don't want to be a quitter. You want to be the kind of person that starts doing something and then finishes it all the way through. And if you don't finish it all the way through, you are going to be a quitter, okay? So don't do that. Become a winner. Start something and you finish it every single time. That's how you enforce the habit of a winner. A winner doesn't quit. You don't quit. You never quit. Always go from 2% or 1% to 100%. There is no quitting. You're not allowed to quit. You don't stop. Always keep moving. Always become a winner. Build the habit of a winner, okay? Losers have this vibe about them when they start doing something and then they stop doing something. Don't allow that to be part of you, okay? And even if you are in a situation sometimes where you are actually a loser or you end up losing in a situation, don't let that determine you. Don't let that hurt your character. Don't let that hurt your determination, your drive, your motivation. Don't let any of that affect you, okay? Use that as inspiration. And what you're going to do is you're going to use that inspiration, that motivation, and you're going to use it into building the habit of becoming a winner, becoming someone who starts doing something and just keeps doing it every single time, so that you start at 1% and then you know that you have 99% left to go until you reach 100%, and then you become a winner. And then you keep doing that. You go from 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Only think in 0 to 100 so that you can just become a winner. And then you just win, win, win. Next, I'm probably not going to fail anyways. So I'm just going to keep going, okay? I'm just going to keep going. I'm just not going to stop. There's not going to be one part of me that sits here and stops. Why would I stop? Don't do that, okay? Just keep going. You're not even going to fail. And even if you did fail, you won't fail, okay? Because you're going to learn from it and you're going to keep going anyways. So just keep going. Always keep going. There's no point of stopping. Go, go, go. There's only the point of going, okay? Next, I am not going to fail. I can't fail. It is not possible for me to fail, okay? I am incapable of it. Someone can try to tell me I should fail. Someone should try to tell me that this and that. People can tell me whatever they want. People can tell you whatever they want. Okay? People will always do that. They'll always try to send some sort of insecurity, some sort of fear, some sort of doubt at you because they think they know more than you. But you can't fail. They don't get it. You can't fail. You are not the kind of person who fails. Okay? You only win. You only succeed. There is no failure. There is no failure in your world. It doesn't even get around you. You can't even feel it in the air. Okay? It doesn't exist for you. You can only win. You can only take things to 100% because you only win. Don't ever stop. Don't ever let someone quit, okay? Only build off of strength, only build off of power, and just keep going. When you have a massive task in front of you, think about how much you have left to complete the whole thing. It's really not that bad, okay? And think to yourself, I can do that easy. Because you know that you are going to get to the end at some point. So why is it even in your mind as hard? Think of it. It's easy. It's easy. It's the easiest thing that you've ever done. Okay? Next, no factor. Sometimes you just have to think of things as no factor, that you just don't care enough to even give it the perception of your mind because it's not worth it. Because it's not worth sitting there and thinking about that thing or feeling that thing. And so all you need to do is you just need to move on. And you just look at it and you say, you know what? I know that that exists as part of reality. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it no factor because I don't factor it into my reality. Instead, I build in new thoughts, better feelings, better experiences. And that allows me to build myself and build my character so that I can be more successful. Next, look at the thing you've already gotten really good at and analyze. Analyze your warm-up, your sequence you do for it. Repurpose what you do and do that for other pursuits and do that for other things, okay? So you want to analyze, where am I successful? What are these things that I've been really good at or I've done really good at? And then how can I just continue to compound and continue to build on top of what I already know and put it into other areas so that I can take where I am successful and then push it over into this area of my life and then this area of my life. And then you're going to realize that all the same principles apply and you're just going to build success in all the areas of your life and it's going to make your life so much better. Next, best setup conditions, mental engagement, physical warm-up, execution, and hit the perfect first stride, okay? You want to set everything up and you want your brain, your body, you want everything to feel ready. Get warmed up. Get in the stride that you need so that you can make the first perfect stride, the first perfect feeling come out of you, okay? You want it to be so perfect that nobody can say that it wasn't perfect, okay? So you can show and have that perfect first impression. Next, organize any amount or quality of information to start something. Okay? You need to know what you need to know. You need to know information. You have to have it organized. You have it in place. And once you have these things in place, you can start to build it into an action plan and you can start to plan out your future and then you can start to take affirmative action on it and that will get you closer to your goals. Next, organize your stuff. It's necessary. Okay? Information, your living space, your resources, your relationships. Once you have these things and they're all in a certain place, in a file, in a folder, whatever it is now organized in your mind. when you organize your environment, it organizes your mind as well. And so pay attention, okay? So when you have your environment organized, okay, your mind organized, things become smoother. There's a lot less friction in your life, in your external life, and you're able to do things much quicker. Okay, so focus on your external environment, and that will reflect in your internal environment, in your mind, and then you will be able to do things with little effort, and that will make everything a lot smoother for you, and you'll be able to accomplish stuff a lot more quickly. Next, when you think about doing something, you automatically consider not doing it, which is why going is just that much better. Okay, so when I think about going to the gym, I automatically think about not going to the gym. So what you need to do is you need to say, I thought about going to the gym, and cut all your thinking off from there and then start going. Just go. You have to take action on it. If you take action on it now, instead of stagnating into this thought of thinking, you just need to move on it. You just have to take some action on it, and you will become better because of that. Okay? Because if you sit there in that automatic mode where you're thinking about something, what's going to happen is it's going to turn into hesitation. You don't want to start hesitating. You don't want to be the kind of person who sits there and stagnates and hesitates and thinks too much when you know you need to do the thing anyways. So if you just allow yourself to think and go, then you will get the result you're looking for. If you use it more than 80% of your day, then you should invest in it heavily. Okay, there are so many things that we use all the time, every single day. So invest in those things, build those things up. If you invested in everything you used 80% of your day, your life would get so much better by default. Okay, so invest in the thing, invest in your hands, invest in, I don't know, maybe use a cooking pot every morning or something. If you had a better cooking pot, that would automatically improve your life. Maybe not much, maybe not a cooking pot, but if you use your microwave every day and you had a better microwave, that would probably save you more time. Okay, so think about the things that soak up your time or they soak up your energy because they're not efficient, and then build those things up so that you can build yourself into a 1% zone where everything's super fast, everything's super efficient, and your life is ultimately better. Next, everything has a rhythm to it. Get into the rhythm. Okay, dance with certain things. Okay, there are so many objects and there's so many people in your life that you have to find the rhythm of. And if you find that rhythm and you can get into it, then you can dance with it and you can start to explore it and feel it and see if there's anything there for you. Whether it's this positive experiences, this positive emotions, it can start to build up and it can start to build into the person or the experience that you want it to be. Next, sometimes you have to obsess over something so it is the absolute and only thing on your mind every day for weeks, okay? Everything you have to do might need to relate to this thing, okay? So you might just have to get obsessed. You might be in that situation where there's such a big problem or there's something so difficult in front of you that you have to get through it, okay? And you might have to obsess. You might have to be unbalanced for a period of your life. You might have to go through suffering and pain, whatever it is. You will have to build and persevere your way up. And you have to get better and better until you are the kind of person who just beat the thing because you didn't have a choice, because you had to get through it. You couldn't let it constrain your life anymore, so you had to build that freedom and build your way out. You had to build a ladder out of it so that you could become who you needed to become in order to live the life that you wanted. Next, there is always and never the correct answer for something emotional, okay? So when we think about an emotional situation, there's a lot of gray area in that situation. There's so many answers that are potential. So you will never have the correct solution for something emotional, and you will never have the wrong solution for something emotional because it can be framed in so many different ways. So what you have to do is you have to recognize, what are my morals? What do I want to happen in this situation that's going to affect the person or the object or whatever it is positively? How can I radiate positiveness and attraction and energy in this emotional situation? And that will give you a good guide, a good path to leading into a good direction that's going to benefit you emotionally, yourself and your environment emotionally long term. Next, Control your self-identity ties. Control what you attach yourself to. Okay, there's going to be things in your life that you don't want to attach your self-identity to, and there's going to be things in your life that you do want to attach your self-identity to. Okay, and so what you need to do is recognize that I have emotional ties. I have self-identity ties, and I need to keep those tight and narrow. I need to hold on to them with tension. I need to make sure that those stay extremely strong, because if I don't, what's going to happen is that one of them are going to break, or that something's going to get in there that I don't want to get in there, and then you're going to have to say, okay, I got to get rid of this thing, and it's part of me. You don't want that to happen. What you want to happen is you want to keep your self-identity ties close to you. You want to keep them strong, and you want to be the kind of person who has that strong character and can persevere through anything, through your own self-identity, because you know who you are, because you know that you are capable of anything. Next, move like you're trying to impress the universe. Always move like you have to get somewhere, like you have to do something, like you have to do something for it, because reality is going to reward you when you try to impress it, when you try to be someone who is outlandish or going to do something crazy. When you go do those things, those positive experiences, those positive feelings are going to come back to you, and the reality that you live in, the universe that you live in, is going to reward you for what you are doing. It is going to reward you because it sees everything, because it knows how you move, because you are part of reality. And so you have to recognize that moment that the universe is looking at you, that you have to be the kind of person you need to be in order to impress it. Next, paradigm shift is a shift in the reason you do something. Okay, the mission or motive changes or it strengthens. Okay, so when you're in a paradigm, when you are thinking through the lens of something into it, you want to find a place that you can strengthen yourself. You want to find a place that the paradigm exists through, and then you can attach your strength to it. Okay, you want to find that reason that you just do it. You want to find the reason for strength, because when you do, you start to build upward. And when you start to build up, you become stronger, your situation becomes stronger, and then you build yourself into a stronger person through the lens of that paradigm. And that's going to make you more successful. Next, go now. Go, go, go. Speed is the key. My drive is alive. It's time to go. Okay, sometimes in life you mess up things. Okay, sometimes you mess up, sometimes you make a mistake, whatever it might be. If you keep the speed alive, it's almost impossible to lose, because you only just keep going. You keep making mistakes or whatever it is, and you don't allow those setbacks to actually set you back. You just keep going. You just do the Running Man game, where it's positive experience, good decision here, good decision there. You do all of the things that builds you into the best decision, and you do them quickly and you do them correctly. Next. Do more things with freaky variables or lots of variables. And what it's going to do is it's going to fill your brain up with stuff. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to fill your brain with all sorts of stuff. And then you want to be able to solve all those problems. Now, you want to be able to solve problems that are important. You want to be able to solve things that are going to help you long term. Don't fill your brain with information of bad stuff. You only want to do good things. Fill your brain. Just keep going and going. And what's going to happen is that you're going to build a collection of all the most important things in your life. And you're going to build a bunch of different avenues with loads of information. And you're going to be able to understand reality better, yourself better, and your pursuits better. And when you do that, you're going to build your life and build your character. And then you're going to be able to build yourself into the best version of who you need to be. Next, find things that you're scared of and identify where the fear comes from, okay? And then devour it. Okay, so fear comes from an area where there is a central zone, okay? So you can be on one side of something, and then on the other side, there is a reward, or there's something that you hate, whatever it is, and then the fear is in the middle. It's in this gray area where it doesn't actually exist, okay? Fear is something that's been made up. Okay, so look at the fear, look at it directly. And once you understand where the fear comes from or what it does, you can start to devour it. Next, Dopamine resets every morning. You run on it all day. Use it like a gas tank, okay? So build your dopamine up, okay? When you wake up in the morning, keep it safe. Keep it in a lockbox, okay? And then you can start to use it throughout the day so you can start to run throughout the day, so that you can start to put it in areas that are important to your life, okay? Protect your dopamine, and then by the end of the day, you will be someone who is out of dopamine and that you can reset it, but you will know that you have put all your dopamine in the right places for your life. Next, it is your life and it is your brain. Choose what you want to do with it. Okay? Don't allow anyone to tell you what to do with your brain, what to do with your life. It's yours. Own it. And if you own it and you say, I can do whatever I want, you can do what's only best for you. And then when you do what's only best for you, you only do what's best for your environment, you only do what's best for your society, you build all of these things, and then you become a person who's not selfish and not selfless, but you become the best version of yourself. And you only use the thoughts that are helpful to you. You only use what is useful to you. And then you're able to live through an illusion, live through a delusion of reality, which is just made for you. Next, only make good decisions. Only make decisions that are going to impact everyone positively, you included, okay? And what it's going to do is it's going to build a community. It's going to build your society. It's going to build your connections. And you're going to live a reality that's great. Next, no matter how good you can see you are or you think you are, you can always get better, okay? You can always be a better person. So sometimes we feel like we are so good at something. We are the best. And that is your ego, your complacency seeping in. You don't ever want that stuff to seep in. Get rid of it. It's like goo on your character. It's like sweat on your body. You want to get it off. Okay? So allow those things to seep out of your skin so you can just get rid of them completely. Okay? Always find a way to get better. Always find a way in your brain or in your body to make a little tweak or to make a little improvement, which is going to make you into a better person. Next, consider things as completely logical with no emotion first. Okay? So you want to make sure that you have all the logic, all the facts, the entire structure that you need built out with no emotion involved. Okay? So then you can look at things. What exactly is going on? You can figure out exactly what you need to do in your life. What's the next move? What's the next best move? Okay? And how can I position myself in this situation so that I can get better, so that I can do what's better in my environment and better for my people? Okay? This is going to allow you to look out for your people. And then you can start to interpret things emotionally, and that's going to build you a life and a foundation that you want. Welcome to the final episode of this series. Let's go ahead and get into it. Channel your emotional fluctuations into a mindset, into an alter ego like beast mode. Okay, so you want to use all the emotional energy and all those things that negatively happen in your life, and you want to channel them into something like beast mode. And you want to channel that into whatever it is, powertrain, whatever. Okay, so you want to take all the negative circumstances that come into your life, that feed into your brain, into your body, and you want to channel them into your alter ego, which you can attach to your character. And that's going to make you stronger. That's going to give you drive. That's going to give you work ethic. Okay? I just finished having an ice bath, as cold as I could get it, and I've got my cup of coffee here. This is the final episode anyways, so... Next, 0 to 100% is the only way to go. I will not do something if I have to start past the starting line or if I cannot get over the finish line. Only ever do things that allow you to do the entire thing, okay? Because that is going to instill good habits. It's going to instill the positive experience in your life, in your mind. in your body. And that repetition is going to count and it's going to drag you into the future into a positive situation. Okay, so always do that in order to build your character, in order to build who you are. Only take on pursuits where you can finish 100%. Next, if you're overwhelmed with information, just break it down and tackle one thing at a time. Have one task in your mind at a time. And you also want to have the end goal. Okay, and so what this looks like is that you have some big, overwhelming task with so much information. Take it one step at a time. Okay, and also think, where am I going long term? So you have your one task in front of you, you have your one task long term, and that's going to allow you to build momentum. You're going to go one task, one task, one task, and then you're going to see out in the future the big long-term goal, and you can take steps and you can run towards it. Okay, that's what I want you to do. I want you to have one task and I want you to have a long-term goal, and then you can run and sprint towards it. You can attack it endlessly. You can attack it with as much power as you need in order to be the person you need to be, achieve the goals that you need to achieve. Okay? Next, it takes time to fall in love. Okay, and you can fall in love with anything. You can fall in love with people or objects, relationships, whatever it is, you can fall in love with anything. So the longer you spend with something, the more time you spend with something, you can develop that love for it. Okay, and when you develop that love for it, you will enjoy it. You will have that positive feedback loop that keeps you coming back. Okay, so you need to be in that mode of, I love this thing, or I want this thing so bad that I'm going to keep it in my life, and I will spend as much time with it as I need to in order to keep coming back, because it's good for me. I know it's good for me. And when you have good things that give you positive experiences, that make better things happen in your life, you stick with them because it's good for your character, because it makes you more successful. So find those good things and stick to them like glue. Next, find the one thing you adhere to the most and use it to remind yourself of important stuff. Find that one thing, that one religion, or that one belief that you have that is so strong, that is so sturdy, that you can use it to constantly remind yourself of why you're doing something, or why you have to push through something hard, or why you have to grind so hard. And when you attach those two things together, you will feel a sense of duty. And you will feel a sense of purpose and responsibility so that you can tackle any problem that comes up in your life, and you can attack it with fire and tenacity. And that is going to make you a stronger, better person. Next, attack the problem. Okay? Don't look at the solution. You want to attack the problem. You want to take the problem as many steps as you can, as fast as you can. You want to attack, attack, attack. Never be on the defensive when it's a problem. Okay? You always want to be attacking, because what that allows you to do is it allows you to move. Okay? You want to be default. You want to be default on moving, aggressive. You want to be attacking a problem, and that's going to get you to the solution faster, more quickly, and that's going to allow you to solve the problem as fast as you can, or get as much information as you need in order to get you to the end goal. Okay? So always stay attacking. Okay? Next, you have a relationship with everything in your life. Make sure you watch those relationships closely. Okay? So you have relationships with people, you have relationships with objects, and you also have relationships with addictions. So you want to watch all of those extremely closely, because you want to be able to prune out the relationships that you don't need. You want to prune out the things that aren't benefiting you, that aren't benefiting your life. You want to take those out, and you want to replace it with new relationships, new habits, new goals, whatever it is that feeds you and makes you alive. Okay, so find those relationships that are helpful, and especially with your addictions, you want to watch that relationship closely. You want to pay as much attention to it as you can, so that you can hold on to what you need to hold on to, and so that addiction doesn't overwhelm your life. Okay, so make sure that you have your relationships in order so that they don't consume your life, but that you can control them, and that will allow you to be a better person and more in control of your life, so you can be more successful. Next, it is in your head. It is in your mind. You can believe whatever you want to believe. Okay? Nobody can sue you for the things the world never knows. Okay? It doesn't matter if it feels delusional to you, to society, to others. It is in your head. It is your choice. Choose the things that are helpful for you to believe. Choose the things that will build your life up, that will make you extremely successful, that will push you to your absolute best every single day, because those are the only things worth thinking about. Okay, there are so many things in reality that aren't worth thinking about, and ignore all of them. Okay, they are not useful. Be delusional. Live the kind of reality that's going to inspire you, that's going to push you to the next level, because that is the kind of life that is worth living. Next, choose what is most helpful to you and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. When you make decisions, stick to the decisions. Comply with yourself. Okay, don't allow people to influence you to a point where you're not in control of your life, where they are making the decisions, where they are in the driver's seat. Don't allow that to happen. Always gather your own information and make your own decisions so that you can drive your life, so that you can be in control. And don't ever let other people make decisions for you. Okay, that is like living life with a chain on your foot. Okay, you don't want to be dragging around loose weight. You always want to be the one making decisions, because that will lead you to a life that you want to live. Next, the ultimate form of human evolution is to utilize all of your subconscious effectively and compute as much conscious information as possible. You want to physically do everything automatically. That is your subconscious. That is who you are. That is how you interact with the world. When you can do that, and when you get to a point where you can physically do everything effectively and efficiently, and then you can also think as much as possible so that you can compute, all sorts of unexpected situations, that is your highest form of evolution. That is how you become the most effective human being that you can possibly be. Okay, so you want to be working towards that. You want to be working towards being able to do things automatically in such a way that nobody else can, while also being able to think about things in a way that nobody else can, so you can reach the highest version of yourself. Next, whatever work you do is exactly who you become. Okay, choose all of the things that you're going to spend so much time on wisely. Okay, you want to become the kind of person who does their work and feels their work in a way that's going to benefit their character, who is going to improve their character so that they can become the best version of themselves. When you have to dedicate so much time to something, it is worth being so strict about how you do it. Okay? You want to find the work that's going to improve you so much that you don't have a choice but to improve. Okay? So always optimize for, I'm going to spend this much time doing something, so I must find a way to have it improve me or improve my character. And that can just be a mentality. It doesn't matter if you work the worst job in the world, but you treat it as someone who will work hard, and you will constantly climb the ladder, and you will constantly get better. So even if you're stuck in a point in your life where you don't like your job or whatever it is, then you can still become the kind of person, the kind of character, and you can install the work ethic, the determination you need in order to get to the highest level of who you are, who you need to be, and live the life that you want. Next, as a man, live hardcore in your work, in your attitude, and then be loving at home. Okay? Go out there, focus, pay attention, focus on the things that you need to do in order to become the best at your job or whatever it is. Okay? And then go home and be loving with your family. Next, what you enjoy is what limits you the most. The less you enjoy, the better you become. Okay? If you enjoy parties too much, then you are limited by them. Okay? If you enjoy donuts too much, you are limited by them. Okay? They control you to some extent. So watch out for the things that you feel that have that gratitude, you have that greatness for. Okay? Watch those things. You want to limit those things as much as you can, but you always want to have something that you are grateful for. Okay? Next, have the right mindset before you go into something. Activate the right neurons. Okay, prime yourself before you go into something. Prepare, get stronger, build up your strength so that you can fire all of the neurons that you need when you get into the task, so that nothing can throw you off, so that you can be at the perfect performance, the highest peak level, your highest level of human existence possible. Okay, you always want to be as good as you can at everything. So prime your neurons, okay? And so we are coming to the end of the series, okay? I have always hated the end of series, but that hate only arises because I loved what happened. And I'm so grateful for that hate to exist, because without hate, there is no love. And I know that the love that I feel is actually stronger, which allows me to be grateful for that, okay? So I will always do what is best for you. I will always want you to be successful, and I will always be able to find, you will always be able to find me somewhere, okay? So there are 5 remaining points to this lovely series. Let's go ahead and get into them. Always do an extra repetition every single time, even once you have completed the task 100%. Okay? You want that task to feel like you just destroyed it. And you can do that. You can invoke that feeling in you that you are better than it, that you are stronger and more capable when you take that task even further than 100%, 105%, 110%. That's where your head needs to be. Next, build your physical reality out. Okay? Surround yourself with the things that make you better. Okay, that make you who you are and make you who you want to be. Your environment, your reality, the life that you live, everything around you is who you become. Okay, so make sure that you cater everything around you to reflect who you want to be. You want to have good reminders in every piece of your environment around you. Don't allow bad reminders to seep in and manipulate you and do dumb things, okay? Don't allow that. Only have a good environment. Only have good people around you, okay? And if you can't find that, then find a way to find that. Next, think about how strong your recovery is going to be. How every mistake you've made is going to regret knowing you. How every single setback that you've had, every mistake that you've made, every moment where you slipped up, you fell, you tripped, whatever it is going to regret knowing you. Unlike anything that you will ever live, and not like anything that you have ever lived, your life is unique. Okay? Each experience is a product of past experiences, and it sets the tone for your future experiences. My question to you is, what will you choose to experience in each moment of your one-of-one life? And as the final thing that I will leave you with is this. Be terrifically stubborn. Be so stubborn that you will not get off of any horse. Okay? Ride off into the sunset. Find your dreams, find your desires, and just take it to the highest level that you possibly can. Okay? And always ask the world, when they throw shit at you, always ask them, did you really think that was going to stop me?